Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right off the bat. We live in a world where people are talking way more than they're doing. Everybody wants to be seen, everybody wants to be heard, but very few want to build. See, too many folks are out here making noise with their mouths, but they've got no fruit in their lives, and I'm here to tell you today, stop talking success, walk success. Let your success be the noise. You don't need to convince anybody of your greatness. You don't need to prove your worth to people who don't even believe in themselves. Why? Because real success is loud without saying a word. A thriving business speaks. A legacy speaks. Generational wealth speaks. Peace of mind speaks. And none of those things need your ego to shout over them. Sure, here are 6 keynotes from the speech. Asterisk, asterisk, clarity of vision creates direction. Asterisk, 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 mastery requires commitment, not convenience. Asterisk, 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 execution beats excitement. Every time. Asterisk, 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 silence the doubters with results. Asterisk, 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 value outlasts virality. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, success speaks louder than words. Asterisk, asterisk. Would you like these turned into slides or talking points for a presentation? Clarity of vision creates direction. This principle isn't just a motivational quote. It's the foundation of every truly successful life, business, or legacy. Without vision, people perish, not just spiritually or emotionally, but financially, relationally, and purposefully. Too many people wake up every day with no sense of purpose, no real direction, and no strategy for what they want their life to look like. They're busy, but they're not productive. They're moving, but they're not progressing. They mistake motion for momentum. Why? Because they haven't taken the time to clarify what they truly want. Vision is not about what you see with your eyes. It's about what you perceive with your mind and believe in your heart. You don't need perfect conditions to have vision. You need faith. You need the ability to look at your current situation and still see something greater. Vision gives meaning to struggle. Vision gives structure to effort. Vision gives you the fuel to keep showing up when everything in your life tells you to quit. But none of that happens if your vision is cloudy. A cloudy vision leads to scattered action. It leads to confusion, frustration, and eventually surrender. Most people fail not because they don't have potential, but because they lack focus. They're trying to do everything, please everyone, chase every opportunity, and they end up mastering nothing. Let me tell you something. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. And without clarity, you will always be vulnerable to distraction. When your vision is clear, your decisions become easier. You stop asking, should I do this? And start asking, does this align with where I'm going? When you don't know where you're going, every path looks tempting. Every shiny object looks like an opportunity. Every suggestion from someone who hasn't built anything sounds like wisdom, but when your vision is clear, you begin to discern. You develop discipline. You stop chasing opinions and start obeying your assignment. You begin to understand that clarity isn't about limitation. It's about liberation. It frees you from wasting your life on things that don't matter. Clarity creates direction, and direction creates acceleration. You want to move faster, get clearer. You want to stop procrastinating, get clearer. You want to build wealth, launch a business, transform your family tree. Get clearer. Most people don't need more money. They don't need a new job, a better spouse, or a lucky break. They need a clear vision, a reason to rise, a picture of what obedience and excellence look like in their life. Because once you see it clearly, you won't tolerate anything that threatens it. You'll stop negotiating with mediocrity. You'll stop settling for good enough. You'll start demanding greatness from yourself and from the environments you place yourself in. When you have clarity of vision, Your yes has power, and your no has authority. You stop saying yes to things that dilute your purpose. You stop giving your time, energy, and gifts to things that produce no return. You begin to move with intention. You begin to attract what aligns with your vision and repel what doesn't. This is not arrogance. This is alignment, and alignment always produces acceleration. Clarity doesn't mean knowing every step. It means knowing the asterisk direction asterisk. Too many people wait for the full blueprint before they take the first step. That's not how vision works. Vision gives you the destination, and faith powers the journey. You don't have to know every turn. You just need to know where you're headed and why it matters. Because when your why is strong enough, the how will find its way to you. But that all starts with clarity. Not vague desires, not emotional wishes. A asterisk, clear asterisk picture of what you want to build, who you want to become, and what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. You can't lead yourself or anyone else if your vision isn't clear. And if you don't lead your life, someone else will. The world is full of noise, and if you don't have a strong, clear internal vision, you'll be manipulated by external opinions. You'll end up building someone else's dream while your own potential dies inside of you. That's the danger of a life without clarity, and that's why the most important work you can do before you build a business, before you build a brand, before you build wealth, is to build a vision. Not just one that looks good on paper, but one that makes you leap out of bed in the morning and keeps you up at night with expectation. One that fuels your decisions, disciplines your habits, and focuses your actions. Because once you have that kind of clarity, you become unstoppable. Mastery requires commitment, not convenience. In a world obsessed with speed, shortcuts, and instant gratification, mastery has become rare. Because mastery demands a level of dedication most people are unwilling to give. We live in a culture where people want six-figure results with part-time effort. They want to reap where they haven't sown. They want to be called experts, but they haven't put in the hours, the struggle, or the consistency that mastery requires. And that's the problem. People confuse access with achievement. Just because you have access to knowledge doesn't mean you've mastered anything. Convenience says, I'll do it when it's easy. Commitment says, I'll do it until it's done. Mastery isn't built when you feel like it. It's built in the hours when no one is watching. It's built in obscurity, in silence, in repetition. Mastery is forged in the mundane, when you do the same thing over and over again until it becomes second nature. That's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it's effective. And the people at the top of any industry, any craft, any discipline, they're not always the most talented, they're the most committed. Commitment is what separates dabblers from dominators. You can't flirt with greatness and expect to marry it. You have to court it daily. You have to show up when you're tired, when you're uninspired, when it's inconvenient, because that's when most people quit. And every time you push through that resistance, you separate yourself from the pack. You gain ground, you gain power, you gain momentum. The truth is, mastery is not about doing 1,000 things. It's about doing one thing 1,000 times. It's about going deeper, not just wider. Most people don't need more information. They need more immersion. They need to stop collecting courses and start mastering principles. They need to stop browsing and start building. Convenience will always look for the easiest path. Commitment finds the right path and stays on it, even when it's uphill. Let me be clear, convenience is the language of the average. Convenience is what keeps people stuck in cycles of inconsistency. But commitment speaks the language of champions. It says, I will do what is required for as long as it takes. That kind of mind Set doesn't produce fast success. It produces sustainable success. Because when your commitment is real, you stop negotiating with excuses. You stop needing motivation to act. You become disciplined. You become focused. You become dangerous. In the best way, mastery will cost you something. It will cost you time, effort, and often comfort. But the reward on the other side is freedom. When you master something, you are no longer controlled by it. You control it. When you master your craft, you don't chase opportunity. Opportunity chases you. But that only happens when you stop doing it for convenience and start doing it from conviction. Convenience looks for shortcuts. Commitment builds skill. Convenience asks, what's the minimum I can do? Commitment asks, what's the standard I must rise to? And make no mistake, mastery doesn't come from working harder alone. It comes from working deeper focused effort, intentional repetition, feedback and adjustment, again and again. That's what mastery demands, and that's why few ever attain it. You've got to be willing to look like a beginner before you look like a genius. You've got to be okay with being unrecognized while you're sharpening your edge. Everyone wants the stage, but no one wants the sweat. Everyone wants the spotlight, but few want the solitude it takes to be excellent. But let me tell you, the solitude is where the sharpening happens. That's where commitment proves itself. Not in your intentions, but in your execution. Mastery is not a moment. It's a lifestyle. It's not an event. It's a process. And it's not for the convenient. It's for the committed. The ones who are willing to show up daily, improve incrementally, and never stop until the work is excellent. That's the mindset that turns average into elite. That's what separates talkers from transformers, because at the end of the day, mastery is not about potential, it's about pursuit. Execution beats excitement every time. Excitement might get you started, but only execution will get you results. You can be hyped, motivated, inspired, but if you don't act, none of it matters. This is the harsh truth most people don't want to hear. They're addicted to motivation, but allergic to implementation. They love planning, dreaming, vision, boarding. But when it comes time to do the work, to show up consistently, they vanish. Because excitement is emotional, but execution is strategic. Excitement is a spark. Execution is a fire that keeps burning when the spark fades. Too many people confuse emotion with momentum. They think just because they feel good, they're growing. Just because they wrote it in a journal or shouted it at a conference, it's somehow becoming real. But dreaming is not doing. Execution is what turns vision into value. Excitement says, I want it. Execution says, I'm willing to earn it. And the difference between the successful and the stuck is that successful people don't wait to feel ready. They move. They act, they produce, even on the days they don't feel like it. Ideas are everywhere. Execution is rare. Everyone has ideas. Very few people follow through. You don't need a new idea. You need to finish the one you already have. You don't need more inspiration. You need a system, because systems beat emotions, systems beat mood. Systems make sure that even when your feelings fade, your habits stay strong. Execution is about discipline. It's about consistency. It's about doing the right things the right way at the right time. Even when nobody's watching, think about this. The world doesn't reward the one who started with the most enthusiasm. It rewards the one who finished with the most excellence. Starting is easy, sustaining is hard, finishing is rare, and most people never get to see the fruit of their potential because they quit halfway. They let resistance win. They mistake boredom for a sign to stop, when in reality, boredom is the birthplace of mastery, Anyone can be excited on day 1. The question is, will you execute on day 21? Will you still show up when it's hard, when it's slow, when it's not glamorous? If you want to change your life, stop asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and start asking, "What needs to be done?" Execution is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating momentum through action. You don't need the stars to align. You need to align your habits with your goals. Do the work, make the call, build the offer, launch the product, study the craft. Execution is how you separate dreams from delusions, because a dream without execution is just a fantasy. People will admire your ideas, but they will follow your execution. Your impact won't come from how passionate you are. It will come from how productive you are. Execution builds credibility. It builds trust. It builds proof. You don't need to talk louder. You need to move smarter. Action speaks louder than inspiration ever could. And once you start executing, you begin to develop confidence. Not from hype, but from evidence. Confidence doesn't come from thinking you can. It comes from knowing you did. Execution is the compound effect in motion. It's doing the small, often overlooked things every day that lead to massive results over time. It's boring, it's unsexy, but it works. While others are looking for shortcuts, the executors are laying bricks, and brick by brick, they build empires. While the excited crowd fades away, the builders keep building. Don't get it twisted. Excitement can be a great catalyst. It can ignite the journey, but it's not enough to sustain it. Execution is what carries you through the seasons when excitement disappears. It's the grind, the discipline, the grit to keep going without applause. It's the focus to do what matters when distractions scream for your attention. It's the ability to prioritize long-term gain over short-term pleasure. If you want a life of impact, of wealth, of legacy, stop chasing hype and start building habits. Because the ones who win aren't the ones who yell the loudest. They're the ones who do the most. They take massive, focused, consistent action. They execute, not when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Because they know the secret, execution beats excitement every single time. Silence the doubters with results. You don't need to argue with people who don't believe in you. Just outwork them. You don't need to prove yourself with words. Prove it with wins. Every minute you spend trying to explain your vision to someone committed to misunderstanding you is a minute taken away from building it. Doubters don't deserve your energy. Your progress is the only response they need, and the only one that will matter in the end. Results speak a language that even your harshest critics can't deny. People are always going to have opinions. They're going to question your path, your decisions, your timing. They're going to project their own fears, their own limitations, their own small thinking onto you. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. You'll start lowering your standards to meet their comfort zones. But let me tell you this, no one who's doing more than you is criticizing you. The loudest doubters are usually the least qualified to speak. That's why your best defense is not debate. It's domination. Outproduce them, outgrow them, outlast them. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your grind. You don't have to justify your discipline, your late nights, your early mornings, your sacrifices, because the fruit will speak for itself. You just have to stay focused long enough to give it time to grow. While they're watching, talking, laughing, you're building, and one day they'll have to watch the very thing they doubted become undeniable. That's what results do. They end conversations. They eliminate the need for validation. Silencing the doubters is not about revenge. It's about rising. It's about using their disbelief as fuel, not weight. You don't have to carry their doubt. You can convert it into drive. Every successful person you admire has walked through a season of being overlooked, dismissed, underestimated. What made the difference? They didn't stop. They didn't shrink. They didn't try to fit in. They kept producing. They kept showing up. They kept delivering. And eventually, the results made the noise for them. Results are irrefutable. You can argue with opinions, but you can't argue with impact. You can dismiss someone's dream, but you can't deny their achievement. When the revenue comes in, when the lives are changed, when the doors open, suddenly the same people who doubted you will either go silent or try to associate with your success. Let the scoreboard do the talking. Understand this. Your job is not to fight small minds. Your job is to fulfill a big mission, and missions require focus. They require resilience. They require patience. If you get caught up in trying to answer every critic, you'll miss your calling. Let them talk, let them mock, let them watch you stay in motion, because while they're speaking from comfort, you're speaking through action. While they speculate, you execute. While they judge, you build. And building takes time. That's why the doubters often appear louder in the beginning, because the results haven't shown up yet. But your belief must be louder than their doubt. Your discipline must be stronger than their disbelief. Because when the results finally arrive, they don't just prove you right. They prove that you were focused on the right thing all along. You don't need to announce every move. You don't need to defend every step. Results will always speak louder than reactions, so build in silence. Let your growth whisper while your fruit screams. Let your consistency drown out their commentary. And when the time is right, let the scoreboard shut them down without you ever saying a word. The doubters were never your audience anyway. They were the noise. Your results are the response. Your results are the platform. Your results are the proof. Keep showing up. Keep producing. Keep growing. And remember, silence the doubters with results. Every time. Value outlasts virality. In today's world, where attention is currency, many people chase quick wins, trending moments, and viral content. But real impact isn't built on flashes. It's built on foundation. Virality is momentary. It's a spike, a surge, but value compounds, value sustains, value creates loyalty, builds trust, and stands the test of time. The people and businesses that last aren't the ones who go viral. They're the ones who go deep. The ones who show up with substance long after the hype fades. Chasing virality is like chasing shadows. You might catch it once, maybe twice, but you can't build your identity around it. It's unpredictable, and it's never in your control. One day, the algorithm favors you, the next day you're invisible. But when you lead with value, when your content, your offer, your service, your presence actually serves people, you don't have to chase attention. Attention finds you, people return to value, they recommend value, they remember value. That's the difference between making noise and making a name. The most impactful brands, leaders, and creators didn't build legacies by being the most entertaining for a moment. They built them by being the most useful for a lifetime. They weren't always the loudest, but they were the most consistent. And in a world full of distractions, consistency is power. Because when people know they can rely on your value, they stick with you. Even if you're not trending, even if you're not flashy, even if you're not viral. Think about the people who have truly changed your life. Was it because of a viral post or because of value they delivered consistently over time? That's the truth nobody talks about. The people who are really making moves behind the scenes aren't always the ones going viral. They're the ones creating value so strong, so transformational, that it doesn't need a hashtag to get noticed. They're building deep, not just wide. They're planting roots, not just chasing reach. Value is what allows you to charge premium prices. Value is what makes your clients refer you without being asked. Value is what builds communities that don't just follow you. They believe in you. That doesn't come from one big moment. That comes from many small, intentional moments where you chose to serve, to solve, to give. When you prioritize solving real problems over going viral, you build real wealth. You build something that lasts, something that lives beyond the moment. Virality might fill a room, but value fills a life. One might get you followers, the other gets you legacy. One is based on performance, the other is based on purpose. When you stop chasing temporary hype and start creating long-term help, everything changes. You attract the right people, you create lasting impact, and you build something no algorithm can take away from you. The truth is, virality often puts people in rooms they're not ready for. It gives them exposure without the experience. It gives them attention without the infrastructure. And when the spotlight fades, so does the influence. But when you build with value, you don't need a spotlight to shine. You become the light. You become the standard. And people seek you out, not for entertainment, but for transformation. Don't confuse noise with influence. Just because something's popular doesn't mean it's powerful. Popularity can fade overnight. Value endures. And if you stay focused on delivering the highest level of value possible, whether you're talking to one person or 1 million, you'll never have to worry about whether your message is relevant. It will always be relevant. Because value never goes out of style, so while the world chases clout, you build character. While they chase likes, you chase lives changed. While they go viral, you go vertical. Deeper, higher, stronger. Because when it's all said and done, the people who win aren't the ones who made the most noise. They're the ones who made the most difference. Success doesn't respond to noise, it responds to discipline. There's a difference between being known and being effective. A lot of people want to be seen, want to be heard, want to be talked about. But success isn't handed to the loudest person in the room. It's earned by the most consistent, the most focused, the most disciplined. Noise is easy. Anyone can make it. Discipline is rare. Few can sustain it. And in the end, it's not the one who shouted the most who wins. It's the one who executed with precision, with excellence, and with relentless consistency. We live in an era where everyone wants the appearance of success without the application of success. They want the spotlight but not the sacrifice. They want the reward but not the routine. But true success doesn't show up because you posted about it. It doesn't come because you announced your goals. It comes because you outworked the distractions. You outlasted the temptations. You honored the process. That's discipline, and discipline is what separates the ones who finish from the ones who just start. Noise is reactive. Discipline is proactive. Noise happens when someone's trying to get attention. Discipline happens when someone's building intention. People who chase noise get exhausted quickly because they're constantly trying to prove something. People who practice discipline get results because they're not trying to impress. They're trying to improve. They're not trying to be seen. They're trying to serve. And when you focus on that, the recognition takes care of itself. There's a lot of hype around success, but the truth is, success is boring. It's repetition. It's showing up day after day, doing what works, improving what doesn't, and staying locked in on the mission. Discipline isn't sexy, it's not exciting, but it's effective, it works, and it's the one habit that high performers have mastered. Not motivation, not talent, discipline. Because when motivation fails, discipline shows up. When emotions shift, discipline holds firm. When life gets hard, discipline doesn't ask for permission. It just keeps going. Most people want extraordinary outcomes with ordinary effort. They want peak performance with casual commitment. But you can't microwave greatness. You can't hustle your way around discipline. You either build the muscle or you don't. And if you don't, You'll keep starting over every time things get uncomfortable. Because without discipline, nothing is sustainable. Discipline is the bridge between goals and growth. It's what allows you to take your potential and turn it into performance. When you build discipline, you stop making excuses and start making progress. You stop needing permission and start owning your results. You start trusting yourself because you've proven through action that you can be counted on. That's real power, not external applause, but internal alignment. The kind of alignment that keeps you grounded when you could be distracted. The kind that keeps you humble when things go right and hungry when they don't. And the beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Every act of discipline becomes a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. And over time, those small, seemingly insignificant actions stack up into a life that's unshakable. A life built on principles, not preferences. A life that produces results, not because it was loud, but because it was *rooted*. Noise comes and goes, trends come and go, but discipline stays, discipline builds, discipline delivers. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to announce it. Just live it. And one day, the same people who were distracted by the noise will look up and realize you didn't just make sound, you made success. Consistency builds credibility. In a world where people are constantly shifting, quitting, pivoting, and chasing the next new thing, consistency is your competitive edge. It's not just about doing something once, or when you feel like it, or when the timing is perfect. It's about showing up over and over again, especially when no one's clapping, especially when the results are slow, especially when it feels like nobody's paying attention, because consistency isn't about who's watching. It's about who you're becoming. People don't trust what you say. They trust what you repeat. They trust what you prove. And every time you show up, you're proving something. You're saying, I'm serious about this. You're saying, this isn't a phase. You're building a track record. And a track record is what creates credibility, not charisma, not potential, proof. People don't buy based on hype. They buy based on history, your history of showing up, your history of solving problems, your history of staying the course. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be consistent, because consistency compounds. It builds momentum. It builds trust. It builds authority. The longer you stay in the game, the more people start to believe that you're not just here for the moment. You're here for the mission. And when people believe in your mission, they buy into your message. Most people want to blow up overnight, but they don't realize that credibility isn't built overnight. It's built over time. You don't build trust in a day, you build it daily. And the way you do that is through discipline, delivery, and dependability. Do what you said you'd do, keep your word, finish what you started. That alone will put you in the top 5%, because most people quit when it gets inconvenient. Consistency doesn't mean never changing direction. It means staying aligned with your vision, even when you take different routes to get there. It means your audience, your clients, your team can count on you. They know what you bring. They know how you show up. And because of that, they lean in when you speak. They listen when you launch. They follow when you lead. Your credibility is your currency. It determines whether people trust your voice, your value, your vision. And the only way to build it is brick by brick, through consistent effort, consistent excellence, and consistent follow-through. That's how you earn influence. Not by shouting louder, but by showing up longer. Not by trying to impress, but by making an impact, day after day. Consistency doesn't just build external credibility. It builds internal confidence. When you know you've put in the reps, you stop guessing yourself. You stop doubting your worth. You start moving with certainty, not because you're perfect, but because you're proven to yourself, proven through action, proven through discipline, and here's the truth. Success isn't sexy most days. It's doing what works over and over again until it breaks through. It's posting when no one's engaging. It's selling when no one's buying. It's refining when no one's watching. It's trusting that if you keep watering the seed, the harvest will come. That's what consistency is. It's the faithful grind, the unseen reps, the quiet build. That's what credibility is built on. When people see you weather the storms and keep going, that's when they start to believe in your brand. That's when they start to trust your message, because anyone can show up for a season. Anyone can flash bright for a moment. But when you show up through the droughts, through the delays, through the doubts, that's when your consistency becomes your credibility. Legacy is louder than likes. In a culture obsessed with attention, metrics, and applause, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking visibility equals value. But real success isn't about how many people clap for you today, it's about what endures when the clapping stops. Likes are fleeting, legacy is forever. Likes impress in a moment, legacy impacts for generations, and the difference between the two is purpose. When you're chasing likes, you're performing. When you're building legacy, you're transforming. A like is a tap on a screen. A legacy is a life changed because of your work, your presence, your obedience to the calling. Likes are about optics, how it looks. Legacy is about outcomes, what it does. You can buy likes, you can fake likes, but you can't fake legacy. You have to live it. You have to build it. You have to bleed for it. Legacy doesn't come from popularity. It comes from principle, from choosing the hard road, the disciplined path, the deeper work. Everyone wants to go viral, but not everyone wants to go vertical. Legacy goes vertical. It goes deep before it goes wide. It builds the unseen foundation before it seeks the spotlight. It says, even if nobody claps, I will still serve. Even if nobody notices, I will still build. Because legacy knows that what matters most isn't how loud you are now, but how long your voice echoes when you're gone. And that doesn't come from chasing trends. That comes from choosing truth. Legacy is built in the decisions nobody sees. The conversations you have off camera. The integrity you maintain when no one's watching. It's how you lead your family. It's how you serve your clients. It's how you treat the people who can't do anything for you. That's the stuff that lasts. That's the kind of influence that can't be measured by likes, comments, or followers. But it will be felt in rooms you never step into, in lives you never meet. You weren't called to be popular. You were called to be purposeful. That means your aim isn't to be viral. It's to be valuable. To make your days count, not just be counted. And when you shift from likes to legacy, you start making different choices. You stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. You stop asking how many saw this, and start asking, did this serve someone? Because when you build for impact, you never lose, even when you're underestimated. The legacy builders think long term. They ask, what will still matter 10 years from now? What will still stand when the algorithm changes? What will people remember when the content expires? Because trends change, but truth doesn't. Fame fades, but fruit remains, and if you build something that bears fruit, real, lasting, transformational fruit, you won't need validation, you'll have vision, and that's more powerful than any platform. Don't get caught up chasing digital noise. Build something eternal. Build something rooted. Let your work be a seed, not a spectacle, because what you plant in faith today will grow far beyond what any post can promise. That's legacy, that's purpose, that's real success.